So there's a lot of issues around the NHL's current format of the overtime, where it's 3-on-3. And the great part of the overtime currently is the open ice and the exciting plays and the rushes and the 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, and just the general feel. Like, it keeps you on the edge of your seat because you don't know how things will play out. But there has been some complaints with players kind of being smart, puck possessing. If they don't see a clean entry, they'll just go back into their own zone or in the neutral zone, kind of reset, and essentially having long stretches of not much action happening between those bursts of exciting plays. And they've discussed what to do on the 3-on-3 format. Now, there's been some discussion about making some type of rule regarding kind of resetting. There's been, some ideas of like just fixing it and maybe getting rid of the 3-on-3 altogether. That's what I've heard from some commenters. If you want my personal opinion, I think the 3-on-3 is great but flawed. I love the idea of getting players like top end speed, amazing stick handling, great snipes. Like, there's some really amazing plays we have seen in these overtimes just in this season alone. But I would agree, the 3-on-3 for, being a lot of open ice can be a bit slow played at times and make it boring. While the 3-on-3 is great, a lot of open ice, I think due to that open ice, a lot of players are far more conservative, understanding if there's a turnover, well, it can go pretty south pretty quickly if they turn it over in a terrible spot. For me, this is how I look at it. They brought in shootouts because they wanted to have a firm decider of a winner of a game. They didn't want to have ties. They wanted there to be a victor, which, hey, that's fine. Did I see anything wrong with ties? Not really myself, but I could understand the NHL wanting to add a little bit more excitement, and I don't think the shootout is going to go away. What I do believe would be a benefit is them going back to a 4-on-4. While the 3-on-3 is great, I feel like due to the nature of it and how much open space you have, players get a little bit too cautious. On a 4-on-4, you have that extra man where there's not as much open ice. You're able to have a proper forecheck, and the game's still going to have enough space to make it exciting. I don't think you got to get crazy with some of these changes. Now, some people might push back. Well, we've done the 4-on-4 before, and there's been issues with that. I just personally don't look at 3-on-3 overtime as real hockey, and I could even argue 4-on-4 as real hockey, but I would rather have a 4-on-4 overtime than a 3-on-3. It's just, to me, it's a little bit closer to the actual game you play. I understand you can't have continuous overtimes because at the end of the day, in a regular season game, people just want to go home. You don't want to be going to 2, 3, 4 overtimes, which some of these games could go to. But I have to reiterate, I think while exciting, the 3-on-3 has become more of a puck possession game. Now, you could maybe install rules saying that you can't have this amount of resets or you can't go back into your own end if you have puck possession. But I just think that would really just be putting a band-aid on a greater issue. These players and these coaches are very intelligent. I think just adding an extra man, making it 4-on-4 could be beneficial and maybe kind of get rid of some of these issues. The overtime is always going to be flawed in the regular season because people are going to complain about 4-on-4, 3-on-3, 5-on-5 even. There's always going to be somebody complaining. And heck, a lot of people don't, maybe not a lot, but quite a bit of people don't like the shootout altogether because they think it's a gimmick. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a little bit of tweak and adjustment to make sure that the overtime game is watchable. There has been countless overtime games as a Bruins fan myself where I'm just watching my team or another team just constantly cycle around and keep puck possession, which is intelligent. I'm not saying it's not a smart thing to do, but it kind of makes it boring to watch. But I'd like to know your thoughts down below in the comments section. How do you believe the NHL should fix the 3-on-3 overtime? Should they add another man, or should they just keep it how it is and maybe make a rules to clean up the resetting part of that game? I'd like to know your thoughts down below. I'm Captain Paul, and I'll see you in the next one.